Alright guys, this might be a bit quicker than the usual one. I know the inspection ones, they vary, a little bit longer, a little bit shorter. We're about to go and have a look under a 2010 Kakadu with 100,000 Ks. It's in for 100,000 K service. So, you know, oil change, lube, that rear fuel filter, and a check over. I'm going to run through all the usual things that will do at 100,000. It's usually rear brake pads. I've confirmed they are fairly low. Just have a look at these tyres. These are the Falcon Wild Peaks. They do look fairly road orientated, you know, they're a little bit sort of off-road. They've got a little bit of extra protection there on the sides, so that's probably not bad, but it doesn't look like a super grippy tread pattern to me, but I'm sure it probably does the job. Tyres in reasonable condition. It's on the original suspension, so it's something that, you know, needs to be upgraded whether you're changing the heights and stuff like that or not. I think from memory this mainly is a trip vehicle. It's got the standard bash plate, you can see. What I would say is this doesn't look like it goes on trips. It looks like, this is what we'd, nobody gets offended, but like a Touareg tractor type thing, because it hasn't been out in any dirt or mud or anything. But I'm going to show you some problems, which is why maybe it's better, one of the reasons it's better to avoid this sort of, you know, KDSS. Let's look at it right here. So here's the KDSS. Bit of KDS, a big fat sway bar that helps the vehicle stability stay flat on the road when you're cornering. But what it does, it releases at one side, not at both sides. We'll have a quick look at this side. You can see this side is fixed with a bar, so it can't release at this side. So it's only going to be at one side, but of course it allows one wheel to go up and one wheel to go down. As long as you want the opposite to happen, then that system will work reasonably. But you can see there's a bit of a sweat around the boot at the bottom there. So is that a sign of problems to come that could be expensive repairs that not many people know about or want to work on? So just beware of that. Just having a bit of a look around to see what else there is. Let's have a look at these usual bushes that start splitting eventually. Not too bad. That's because of the KDSS. Oh no, here we go. I was going to say the KDSS and the lack of flex on road, which is good, but you can see even with these, see the split starting on the right hand side there. Don't worry about the stress, you know, splits or whatever, just that split along it right in the middle of the picture, starting from the right there, and it's coming in about, it's about 7 or 8 million sort of thing. Anyway, so that's pretty typical though, nothing wrong with that. Under here is fairly dry, turbo's dry, the underneath the whole vehicle's dry, other than the drive shaft that's probably been a little bit over lubed over the years. First time we've seen it here. It's the first time. It's basically come for the inspection, new fuel filter. Now up the back here again, the KDSS, it's not a massive concern, but we don't normally see this, but this is one of those things when you go for the higher spec models and you have airbags that deteriorate and need to replace those at $400 or $500 each. KDSS, hydraulic issues, could be an expensive one later down the track. And of course you need to get the specific shockers and struts for that job. Now 100,000 Ks is normally where we replace these pads, because they are getting close. That's not the lowest side, but see the lining is less than the pad thickness, definitely. So, and this side already had a quick look, again wrong-handed, but you know it's going to get even it's going to get hard to sort of, you know, but I don't know what you can see, getting you a bit sideways there, aren't we? Doesn't matter, right? There's only a millimetre or two left at that rear pads over this side. Certainly due for replacement. They are original brake pads, I can tell you just from experience. Haven't been changed, and that's about where they were at. Usually the rears go first, as they have here at about 100,000. The fronts are normally going to be a 110, 120K thing, with all things being normal, if you know what I mean. I haven't seen anything else under the vehicle other than it must have a full tank, I'm guessing, because for once the fuel kept flowing out from the fuel filter, so got a little bit messy there, but it's all right. We'll give it a clean up afterwards. Mainly just a bit of dust and stuff, so it's seen a little bit of dirt roads, but I've got to tell you, not much from what I'm seeing. The evidence says not much. Hasn't been on the tracks, barely, not much in the way of dirt roads. You can see this looks like more fluff than anything. You think it's been parked in my grandmother's lounge room or something. Hope there's no grandmothers watching anyway. My grandmother, she's passed away, so she won't be watching. Yeah, what else we got? I'm struggling to find anything to entertain you. I'm looking for problems. let's have a look under the bonnet. We're bound to find something up there, aren't we? Wouldn't you think? So before we get to under the bonnet, we've checked the cabin filter and we've got a couple of problems. One is 100,000 K. So this is, sometimes you've got to watch it. Cap price service or capped service. You just got to watch it because you get what you pay for. And these places, they overbook work because they need to book it in to make the money, to get busy, to make money. Now look, I could be wrong, but there's a lot of crap sitting in there. Doesn't look to me, by how black, see the discoloration, the black over there, it's a bit white. But see here, there's even holes. It's deteriorating, it's falling to pieces. That sort of says to me, it's really old, very old. It's definitely a genuine, so it looks like, see the old yellow, glue's gone yellow, whatever. But maybe they tried to change it once and busted it. So then they decided not to go near it again. Now you've got this little, right, this is so that, it's not a big deal, right? But this is so the, you know, it just comes out slowly, right? It's hard to do with one hand, right? This comes out slowly, right? So the glove box opens slowly, right? Now, this was just flopping, hanging off the side of the glove box. It connects on there, you can see that. I've seen those broken before, okay? And I've glued those before. And I've seen these broken before. This is not the first time. We're going to show you because, you know, where does it go? Where does it go? Well, it goes right there. You can see the broken plastic. I know it's hard to get the focus right. Whatever, we'll try it. Well, you can see it there. You can see the broken plastic, right? Just there, right? Now, if you can find it, you can arrow dot it back on. But there's no need for this. We've done videos changing cabin filters. These, they pop off so easy, right? I'm just going to show you one-handed, right? That's how easy it goes off and on. Look, how would you, I can do that one-handed 10 times without breaking anything. These things are tough, you know what I mean? So, obviously they don't even know how to take a glove box out without breaking it. So what we need to do now is pop that in the glove box. So it can stay in the glove box for now. This, it's going to be a glove box without a gas strut is what it is. That's unfortunately how it is. It's either a matter of finding that piece of plastic, which could be down in the bottom of that trim there. We've found it before. Could be on the floor, could have come out years ago, could be vacuumed up. Or you've got to replace this whole trim really to get it back to original. I'd suggest not a big deal. Let's just live without it. But I'll show you what the glove box is going to be like without it. So this is what it's like without a gas strut to just goes bang like that, right? So that's the crap part. So you can just lower it down anyway. That's most people are just going to lower it down, right? So I wouldn't suggest it's worth spending a lot of money on or anything like that. But instead of going slowly like that, right? So that's how it is. Yeah, not much to see up here, you know. Look, the usual things that I don't like is all the leaves sitting in there. As I said, it all rots away, ends up down in, rusting out the vehicle eventually over time. Someone's had this one-way valve on the airbox off and put it on back to front, so we'll turn it around 180 degrees, get it around the right way. Look at all that mess down there as well. Just cleaning, really cleaning to look after the vehicle. Cleaning it is part of it. We're just refilling it with oil. Nothing to see up here. It looks like the injectors may have been out. Yeah, they've been out before. How do we know? See the clamp, how it's squat? It's over tightened. This one up here I'm talking about. See that clamp there? Come back here to this position. See, it's not nice and flat on the top. So yeah, injectors have been out. Risk of contamination. Luckily it's not an off-roader, so pretty clean. So might have got lucky, you never know. And of course the battery terminal, look at that. So someone's put an aftermarket battery terminal. You know, hopefully it's not another insecure battery like we've had before. Same problem on both of them though. See, they're lazy to loosen them off and push them all the way down. So this one here, same problem on that one, but we've got, you know, all the mess as well, right? So we'll clean all that up and we'll fit, don't worry people, you know, we can fit the battery properly for you. We'll fix this one up as well. Okay, pretty quick inspection so far. We've got a couple of things that we picked up on this one I want to point out that may prove to be what we call normal or a bit of a factory fault, one of these things we found. So we've turned that around, so that should face straight down, giving it a clean up. We cleaned the MAF sensor because, you know, it looked like it had never been cleaned. Whoever's been servicing it was obviously too busy to do that. We fixed up the battery terminals again. Remember, it was all dirty and they weren't down far enough, so loosened those off, opened them up as much as we could and got those down and re-tightened them up. Same on both of those. That one was also sticking up too far. Cleaned it all up. And one of the main things that I want to point out that we haven't really discussed before, I notice it every now and then, I don't know if you can see it in the picture, but I'm just going to go over and back. Who can tell me what it is? Who can, you know, pretty well looking at it right there, see a problem? Well look, as I said, this has probably had the injectors out before by the squish on the clamps, right? See the squish there, right? See it's a bit squashed. That tells us they've been off before. That's a sign that they've been off. So this wiring loom may be moved a little bit, but it can't be far out of position. And if you look at it here, I actually want to, in that, I sort of feel that it's got to go back a bit, but you don't want it to go back. See, I'll give you a hint. Look, as I pull it, it goes like that, right? Factory fault, really. There's not enough wire. There should be a little bit more here. You can see how tightly pulled they are, right? They're just really pulled quite tight. Lucky this is connected to that sort of thing, and there's no movement between the two other than a bit of vibration. But we will look at just sliding this up this way a little bit, but there's not much in it simply because the whole wiring loom, it's mounted there. It is straight. So I'm not blaming anyone other than Toyota. They should have allowed about an extra 10 mil of wire on those plugs so that this could sit up a little bit. But what we're going to do is we're just going to try and get the wiring loom a little bit coming this way. We're going to have to loosen off those clamps to do it. It's not a big deal, but I have noticed it before and it varies from vehicle to vehicle. So if you do see this on yours, there's not really much you can do about it other than loosen off these two clamps, okay, and then bring the wiring loom forward a little bit. Just see what I'm doing? I'm just bringing it literally, I'm moving that about 3 or 4 mil, and it just takes the pressure off the wire a little bit. But it still doesn't mean there's a lot of wire there. It's still tight, right? As soon as I release it, there's not much in it. So not your fault, nobody's fault really, other than it's just not enough wire on the loom. Anyway guys, that's it for this video. Hopefully you found something there educational like usual. Please give us a thumbs up. If you haven't already, subscribe, turn the bell on. More videos coming your way. Thanks for watching. See ya.